And welcome back to episode 17 of Still Striving.
God damn it, it's 17
It's
episodes?
17 episodes.
Yeah, 17.
Yo,
Jesus
we
Christ, I
have
need to get rid of y'all.
I feel like we started 17 episodes ago. Wow.
Wow, you could have guessed that.
Oh.
Technically, you started 16.
Yeah, but say it's more. Hey, actually more because of the 0.5s. Anyways,
Yeah. So, you somehow still alive and still shining with us, do the joints, subscribe, that shit. If you don't know us, I'm Shaman with the Gias Eli, the host. And, we got Owen Ford here.
go.
We got Jake.
Yo.
We got shout out Papersmith or Amin.
Yo,
And it's Joel.
Oh, yeah.
This is Joel.
So I can say for at least around most of us, we appreciate Marvel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, but the tragic thing is Marvel, besides, Spider-Man Miles Morales and Spider-Man PS4, games suck. Speaking of one game, Avengers.
Oh my God. This is what we're talking about.
No, there's more, don't worry. So it's for people that touched that terrible game. How you feel about Avengers?
The worst fucking game I've ever played. Like, legitimately, it made me so fucking sleepy and bored and tired and stressed. It made me stressed.
Imagine you only played like 5 minutes.
I didn't even. I was in the fucking interlude, and it was one of the worst experiences of gaming history I've ever fucking had.
if it was
It was so bland. The running animation was the first thing I noticed. I was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna like this game." But the movement is goddamn. And maybe I'm a little biased only because literally all I've been playing for the past few days is like Warframe. It has like the best movement system of any game. But even then, because I've been playing Returnal as well, and Returnal has a great movement system. It feels so fluid and nice. That game feels so bad. I feel like I got fucking cinder blocks holding me down. I feel like Rock Lee before he took off the weights.
But you
I'm
never
right.
took off the weight.
But I never took off the weights.
Never got to
Bro, I hate that shit. So
I know that.
yeah, I think that was the movement was the thing that really, really like sealed it for me. I was like, this is the worst thing ever, right? But more than that, the game looked okay. I think the worldscape, like the world themselves, looks pretty beautiful. But like, it doesn't matter if the combat is the next thing I'm talking about because the combat is so fucking terrible. God, it's so bad. Oh, it's so boring. And trust me, I did not play extensively, and I don't want to play extensively because I've got enough. I got it. I got the movement. I saw how to introduce the story. I saw the god awful acting, cutscenes, etc. Then I saw the shitty combat. Saw the nice looking world. I don't want to see anymore. I don't want to play anymore.
Right.
It's a bad game.
Yeah. So Jake, how do you feel about the game since you played more than Banjo?
So, at first it was alright. I wanted to give the gameplay a benefit of the doubt, and because before I bought it, because it was so controversial, I looked up like reviews and shit, and people were like, "Oh, it's fun, just kind of repetitive, blah blah blah." Right? I got past the interlude. I thought the interlude was alright. It was whatever, and I played it like a couple of missions, but then like I started to see what they were talking about, it being repetitive, because like you do the same thing every mission. You went out looking for like another Avenger. Fucking then you beat up some robots or some shit, got some material, got some like opened some chest up, and then maybe you'd fight a boss. And I just didn't have the urge to like play anymore, so I was like, oh, fuck it, I dropped it and I deleted it. It was bad.
Yeah. So tragically, Marvel does not have really good games besides Spider-Man. Can you even think of a good game before Spider-Man that was Marvel?
I like
Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
Hey, yo, Batman.
well, besides
Marvel
the Alliance
Ultimate
game,
Alliance is an amazing game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but 3 looks like a slideshow.
I like,
Never played 3. Don't wanna play 3
X-Men.
'cause it's
I like X-Men Destiny a lot.
And which one was? When did that come out?
It was when it was remember like you got to choose between the 3 characters
Oh
and like
yeah.
the 3 superpowers. I like that game.
Yeah. So if you
As I look through these Marvel games, yeah.
The only hits are like the Lego games and the Spider-Man games.
Yeah. And I think there's a little bit of a fix with that. it's actually ironic because lately we've been in our fighting game bag, playing Mortal Kombat, Tekken, shit like that. And NetherRealm Studio, aka people that made Mortal Kombat, is supposedly, I'm gonna keep that out so people don't get hope. Supposedly making a Marvel game.
Where?
Yeah. So, if they are making one, what do you want to expect from it? Like, what characters would you want? Would you want it to play the same way as Mortal Kombat and Injustice? Like, how would you feel about it?
It got to preface this by starting this. Yeah, thank you. I was just about to. It cannot be similar to Injustice at all. I like Injustice for like less serious, more like casual, like couch game because it's like, all right, this is Mortal Kombat and everybody's familiar with the characters if you played the game, et cetera, et cetera. But there's that, and then there's like the last time I played Injustice in a group setting was with my cousins. There's a lot of them. We sat down, me and the older ones. We played games, and their little sisters, my little cousins, all of them. We all played. We all watched us play. The older dudes pretty much just went around the circle and played. It would have been. It's so much better and doing it through Injustice because the younger kids know all the characters. All that, it's just easier to watch that way. So like that's fine. But damn, like if I want to play with my homies, I'm gonna pick Mortal Kombat because those games are made like shit. They're made like shit in comparison to Mortal Kombat games.
I love it. Like I feel like Injustice is perfect, like with the homies though. Like if you're because Mortal Kombat is like you really taking it serious. Like bro, just play the game.
It's a fighting game. What do you expect?
It's a fighting game. It's supposed to be battling.
But it still should be some type of casual play.
All right, let's go
like
section by section.
Combos and shit. Not everybody got.
Let's go like section by section. If this game does come out, is there any characters that might not quote unquote make it that you would probably want?
Marvel.
I would want to see the serpent nigga that broke Captain America's shield.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name right now. I'm pretty sure his name is Serpent.
I would want Shadow Marvel vs. Capcom 2 Psylocke.
What's the boy with the floating head? I forgot his name.
MODOK?
Yeah.
Bro, I would definitely want to see Beyond there on that
I don't think he's gonna be in it though, because how
big ass head.
The one above all.
Bro, Century, bro.
Big ass head. You don't got no legs. Like it's like no bottom. Like,
yes, sir.
I would like to see Death. Why not?
Bro, you want Thanos horny again? You go kill half the universe.
Bro, Death's a baddie, bro.
Well, let's say this. We know who's gonna be there. They're gonna have the base. They're gonna have Darkseid. They're gonna have not Darkseid. They're gonna have Thanos. They're gonna have
Iron Man. They're gonna have Hulk.
Black
Panther.
Yeah, have Spider-Man.
PlayStation only.
Right? No, I think they should put Miles instead of like Peter, since Miles is getting more hype and shit.
Yeah, but they're gonna put Spider-Man because they're.
Well, they won't.
Yeah.
It's
It's like how they did Mortal Kombat with Kratos and Xbox.
Or it could probably be how like.
Oh yeah, I know. I remember that. Like, not to go off topic. I remember that whole Mortal Kombat thing.
Yeah.
Who are they gonna put?
Nothing.
Like
just like they did for.
Because in Mortal Kombat, only PlayStation had access to the character, to Kratos. And it was funny because I remember I would look up how to unlock Kratos. It's like, oh, you can't PlayStation exclusive. I'm like, fuck.
Or it could be like Injustice 2 with like the alternative costumes.
Yeah, I mean costumes will go crazy with a Marvel fighting game.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Look at Marvel vs. Capcom. Like, you see the fucking costumes they had on that shit.
Well, of course they're going to be there. It's just like, and they're probably going to look cool, and they're probably going to do the whole gear system because that's what they've been doing recently with their games ever since Injustice 2 with the whole gear system. I don't really like it for like how they do with the stats, but I do fuck with like the customization of characters. Like,
I like the way
Superman doesn't have to
look
put anything next to your Superman type shit. Mm-hmm. All that stuff is cool, but I mean, there's that, but then there's the stats that I'm like, all right, we don't need to do that. Like,
stats. I think that's really dumb because like,
stats are
bro, I'm just trying to pick up a character and play, bro.
I'm not trying to. Yeah. I don't like the grind for a certain character type
Like
shit.
I'm not playing fucking Warframe, bro. Like
Yeah, dead ass, bro. Like, I'm not trying to do that.
I just
I'm
want drip
fucking-
on my character, bro. Get away.
And it's so unfortunate because it's like, all right, what are you making? Are you making a casual game? Are you trying to do both? Or what are you doing? You know what I mean? And I guess there's like game modes, you turn off the stats, etc. But like, it's the fact that it's there at all.
right.
So,
Excuse me.
yeah,
Now,
I think
what the
that's
game
half
could
of it.
possibly be, hear me out. Now you know how NetherRealm, like making new timelines for stuff and having not a real story, but custom characters type beat. No, not. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a certain game like Marvel Nemesis. Imagine a Marvel Nemesis type game where they have like a bunch of new comic characters that never show up again except in this game. In this one,
I don't think they should go in that direction, honestly.
I mean, I feel like that's what they're gonna do.
That'd be dope as fuck, though.
Yeah,
Well, wasn't Nemesis like an arena fighter or something?
yeah.
How much-
But they were making a second one that was gonna be more 2D, but they canceled that one.
I don't think they should go in that direction for this game.
Yeah, but I feel like they always make new timelines, like the Injustice timeline.
Oh no, they're definitely going to do a
Yeah.
separate timeline from the when we're currently.
So okay, no, I got a
It's either
question.
that or
So
like half the guys are actually evil, and like I don't know.
So I got a question. So because they like add different shit, what do you think the like mechanic would be?
Like,
What you mean, like
Because they already got kind of like
Like
Injustice
X-rays,
with
like-
the powers and stuff, and like well yeah,
So, like-
like the X-rays and stuff like that. Like what would you think the mechanic in that game would be? Like the unique mechanic.
what was the
I
one
don't
in
think
Injustice?
it probably wouldn't be unique. I think it'd just be a meter.
What was the one for Injustice?
You were able to like have like the certain superpowers.
Yeah,
and,
like based off your ability, you get like a
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
you get like a certain ability.
That
Yeah,
laser, and then
yeah.
yeah, Batman
it was like an
battering
act-
type beat. Yeah,
yeah.
like his whole
Like Nightwing can like
Like,
I
Nightwing can
imagine
split the
they'll
sticks
probably do something
and stuff like
that, closer to that,
What game
because
was that?
like
We're
I
talking
don't
about
think
Injustice or not?
I don't think they'll do something brutal. You know what I mean? Like
I'm
They
pretty
didn't do
something
that
like
in the DC universe, like they're definitely gonna do no Marvel shit. You know?
I feel like
So
they
they're
do like a
probably-
similar thing. Like they have like a certain button for you like use your power combo. Like with Thor, you can use his hammer combo if you use like the B button or something. Or like the Spider-Man uses like webs and web swinging if you use that button.
Yeah, it'll probably be like a charge up type shit, or it could be similar to you can use like that power, but you have to use it through like a auto combo or some shit, like how Dragon Ball Z kind of does it.
yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I see what you're saying. It would definitely have to be there, but how they would do it would be interesting. Honestly,
Like like
I think it'll be cool though. I like the idea, and if it goes right, then like we should have a really good game on our hand, honestly. But like,
yo, nah, yeah, because like I mean, NetherRealm always makes like at least like a solid game.
yeah. But how they do it is,
This is gonna be the case.
yeah, you gotta. That's gonna be the honest. Like you gotta peep out for that type shit because the game can sound really good right now, and it does. But if they do some dumb shit, bro, it's gonna be a very bad day for all of us.
To say the least.
To say the least. But I like the idea, and honestly, even though I don't think they should go in that direction of the whole like not normal characters, I should say, I feel like they probably will something similar. It'll be a great time to do it, especially like superheroes got a lot of attention based off this Marvel situation, but plus with the Snyder Cut, being released, and now Invincible being like, I think a lot of people kind of got eyes on that style of shit, so it wouldn't make sense for NetherRealm to return to it, but
Invincible DLC? Question mark?
Injustice is them stepping away from Injustice. If I'm hearing this correctly, if they're stepping away from that, great idea, because that game series got very not so good. But yeah, Any other further any further words on that topic at all? Anybody?
DLC characters.
DLC. Green Goblin? Question mark? No.
Sam Raimi.
No, I gotta bring a DC
Oh, don't
nigga,
even.
bro. Yeah, I'll put a DC nigga in that job.
You think?
Yo, bro, imagine if somebody if some company made something similar to DC Universe Online but for Marvel, bro. That shit would be
Oh
dumb.
my god. Yo, we should
That'd
definitely
be
download
fire.
it to play, bro.
Bro, I fuck with DC Universe at like that, when it was going through its motion at the beginning back in 2014, 15? That was a
Yeah.
long time ago. I fucking
But
played
now
the hell out of it.
it's
It's shit now. Pay to win garbage.
it's a hassle, bro.
Well, alright, well, we don't gotta like be paid to win. You can just because I've never actually beat the story before.
Bro.
No, I'm not saying we can't do it. I'm just saying
Like I'd be
Ain't
down to do
fun
it,
to,
bro.
go to end game anymore.
Like would y'all be down? Because Warframe X retard bit sometimes.
For you.
Yeah, I don't know. We've been having a blast on Warframe, bro. But yeah,
You're left in the dust, my nigga. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
Hey, yo, Tim,
What?
shut up.
if there ain't no further words on that, we move on to the next topic. Was
Wait,
it just
wait. Hold up. Ah, shit. Oh, live once
what,
again.
bro?
Would you want any other company to make this game, or are you okay with NetherRealm Studios making it?
Yes.
no, I'm okay with that.
I don't want that. I don't. Nobody else has.
Or at least the same niggas who made fighters.
Oh,
they can do it.
Guilty Gear or whatever the hell.
Yeah, them niggas, yeah.
They got
Guilty Gear. Yo, that'd be tough. It could kind of be like Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but just
Guilty Gear
Marvel
looks
characters.
fucking great right
Yeah,
now.
I wouldn't want it to be 2D. I don't know.
Or you want to be like a 3D arena type beat?
I don't know.
I feel like it could be fun in 3D Arena, but they're like a lot of them aren't that good.
They got,
No, like there's only a few that are like
like Soul
great.
Calibur and Tekken.
Yeah. So Albert,
Pretty much.
second, if we're even gonna fucking add like Xenoverse,
But like that's more for
Xenoverse
like
is-
anime though.
I mean, I know that. No, I'm saying like that though, but it's still like in the 3D realm. Like it's still like in the 3D space.
Yeah.
I'm saying like in like still.
I
like,
guess,
so- yeah.
but like I don't know. Jump Force.
Even no,
What a
no,
bad
no,
game.
no,
Yeah, that was a
Eli
bad
spams an instant move. Yeah.
no.
Banjo
What
blocked
is-
it. I don't know why couldn't you?
Because you would, bro. I told you take it easy. All right, bro. We're not talking about this right now. You're like horrible when it comes to. You're
Would you want?
horrible.
Would you guys want Capcom to make it?
No. You see what happened with
Nah.
Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite?
Well, I mean, the first
but
3
Street
games were
Fighter
good.
5,
Yeah, but
like
they fumbled it. They
but
soiled
Street
it.
Fighter 5.
Loaded.
They also soiled like the first 3 years of Street Fighter 5 too.
They did, but it's great. It's great now.
They soiled it.
Like
I don't want.
Tim, you
like
get it.
3
You
years-
play.
I don't want to wait 3 years to make Marvel
Yeah,
good.
let's see. It took them a little. It would take their time with that shit, bro.
yeah, bro.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
it
It took a little
It
bit
took
too
a
long.
bro.
They're
Think of it.
comfortable. That's
Yeah,
like,
no, I
yeah, they'll get over it.
They fumbled the bag on that game.
They ain't-
Hella hard.
Definitely.
Don't say that to Tim because he loves it.
Love
Nah,
what?
I don't play the game.
Go, Tim.
Street Fighter?
Are you hyped for Street
Oh,
Fighter?
Street
6,
Fighter?
Tim?
I would be excited for Street Fighter 6.
I mean, they are
but
making it.
they're still adding shit. Like to Street Fighter 5. I'm cool. Like I ain't in a rush.
When
I
did
am.
Street Fighter 5 came out?
Fighter.
Like 2014.
Yeah.
Damn,
Like 15, yeah.
Y'all know him too.
Like 15, yeah.
that game's 6 years old. I feel old.
Yeah, yo, it's an old game.
I was like, I remember when all the trailers came out, and I'm like, oh wait, the game's like 6 years old. Crazy.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah. I mean, I guess last one is DLC, because eventually they're gonna make DLC.
So,
Bro, we don't even know what the fucking main body is.
Look, I'm saying DLC is like
because
characters.
like,
don't
I
care
feel
about
like we already
crossover
know, like-
characters, because
I feel like we
I'm
already
telling
know,
you,
like,
bro.
the main
Invincible would be good
characters, though.
DLC.
Like, I feel like we already
Kill
know
niggas.
like the main characters, right?
No, but
Like-
like they.
Yeah, I
they-
guess
they-
you're right. We do, but like we don't know.
Like,
But we do,
like
but
let's
we
say
don't.
like the minimum. Let's say like the starting cast, like the first, like when the game first comes out, it's probably like 20 characters, right?
Right.
I'm saying, like,
Right.
most of it's gonna be crossover because that's what they did with like Mortal Kombat
Yeah.
and Justice. So it's not gonna be
Right.
Marvel characters probably. No,
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like they have to do like DC,
I'd be
or they're gonna have to.
Invincible
They're gonna have to
characters.
do like some like
I'd be
obscure
okay with
like
Invincible.
unknown people.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like Invincible would be good DLC. One, because it's hot right now, and they already did like a crossover in the. No, it's not canon, so no spoilers.
But will they?
I hope so.
Nah,
I want to beat the shit out of this.
I mean, bread.
Yeah, I
but
can
I don't
see
think
it.
so.
I could see it.
I could see it. Yeah, I can definitely see it.
If fucking Jason is in Mortal Kombat, I think they could.
If the Ninja Turtles are in Injustice, we'll be okay.
Yeah.
The Ninja Turtles.
I guess.
Yeah, I definitely could see it happen. Why not?
I mean, anybody else they really crossed over with? I can't think of anybody. Say Oprah, but DC got that.
Sonic? No,
Now that I think about it, Marvel don't really do too many crossovers.
Yeah, they really don't.
Gotta work.
because they're so like
That'll be also
Nah.
PS4. You know?
no,
bro.
no.
yeah.
No, Twitter niggas
Well,
be
yeah.
upset. They're like,
Well,
When did Marvel
Ready?
crossover God of War? Am I
Ready?
slow?
bro.
When did they do
Sony.
these crossovers?
Right?
Nah, I don't remember. They'll be
That as they done DC crossovers.
Yeah, but it's like bro,
Dante, but not even from the main series, from the reboot.
you're disgusting.
Ew.
You want to do that?
That's-
Just play
that's
PlayStation All Stars. Get away from me.
Oh my
Shitty
god!
ass
Don't
game.
even get me started on fucking PlayStation
They
Smash.
should do
bro.
it again, but try to make it better. They should try to make it better.
They listen with the technology we have now. They're still gonna fuck.
And also, I mean, they can
Of
because we have
course.
like at least a better roster. We have Aloy.
We have a
Kratos.
great, better. We have so many more people.
You can have Dawson and Cole.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we have Aloy, Kratos, and
My boy
Right.
like you
Atreus.
can really like. There's so many more.
Ratchet and Clank
Like-
with better fur
Yeah,
because that's all they show during PlayStation now is the fur.
Nah, bro. They
fucking
showed
little
the
PlayStation robot, little PlayStation 5 robot.
The PlayStation, right?
I'm pretty sure he's on
They
a
can put
PlayStation-
that nigga in there,
I mean,
bro.
I'm pretty sure he's on a PlayStation 4 one too, but no one cared.
No one cares. No one cares.
I mean, they could.
So they made a game.
Version don't count.
Yeah, nobody did care. PlayStation All Stars was a fucking failure, and it's all their fault because they didn't want it to do it in such.
Yeah, you had only like 2 moves you could do.
They wanted to they just wanted to. They should not have done that shit.
They just wanted to
Yeah.
rush something.
And here's the problem with why they
real
should have
quick
waited.
buck.
Yeah, literally, because what they should have done was made a game, not a fucking picture, and then
I'm gonna fucking
now
storybook.
if they want to go back and do that idea, nobody has that. They don't have anybody's trust. We know what you fucking. We know what you
Yeah,
fucking.
they don't have no ones. And like Sony can make great games. They just
Not a doubt.
miss sometimes, and when they miss, it's hard.
Yes,
When
because
they don't, it's great. Like
But
Yeah,
yeah,
when they don't,
for
it's amazing. But like when they do, it's hard.
Original Injustice had a lot of fan service.
Yeah,
Like that's why it was so loved. Like it just felt like so perfect to like oops.
hmm
truthfully, I think it was such a. Hey, Sony, like we were saying, Sony has like an amazing lineup of exclusives, and they should keep that going. And I don't mind them going, to different ideas because they proved time and time again that if they go try something new, they will succeed. But we know when you're doing a cash grab as well, and that shit was a cash grab. Like, oh god,
it was a cash grab and a half, bro.
dead ass, bro. Like, and I don't even think it sold too well either. Probably why they got rid of it. She got like one update, and it was gone, bro. Yeah, they should not have done that. And it was so cool to see a lot of those characters together. Like, why?
Right, it was really good.
It
Like as a kid with my limited mind, I was just like, oh, this is
Oh yeah, of course. As a kid, that shit was bombastic. But looking back on it, you're like, wow, that game was dog shit. No type of depth. The maps were shitty.
no. I had like this one favorite map. I forgot what it was. I think it was like a Nathan Drake map. It was like on a plane, I think.
A
I
lot
know
of
exactly.
It's
I
just
really like the
boneless.
game.
But they'd have made a new one. It'd be 5 for sure. I mean, I hope so.
I think it would be.
They'll probably just forget Kratos exists.
Well, I mean, like I said, if they decide to actually take some care into the game, then of course, Sony has proved that they can absolutely, without a doubt, make some phenomenal games. You know, while taking new risks. Like they just do a new IP, and then it's just like, all right, this idea seems okay, but where you're gonna go with it? And they crush every time. Last of Us, Horizon Zero Dawn were two of those really good examples of that. Returnal is another one. If you have not gotten on Returnal, you got a PS5. Absolutely, you should pick it up whenever you get the chance. I say it's worth the $70, but if you want to wait,
what is it? What is it about?
Infinite Deathloop.
It's a roguelike.
That game, y'all really want to bet on. I think I might get it.
That game is.
Ain't it like every time you die, like you age or something?
No, that's like.
No, that's not. That's not. I know it.
That's like.
That's
or something.
Yeah, that's the niggas who made Absolver.
Yeah, I've been having it. I just picked it up.
I want to play that too.
Friday morning or some shit. Yeah. I've been playing it, bro. Sony, when they do something new, they do it and they do it right. And they definitely did it right with Returnal. They did it right with Horizon Zero Dawn. If they got a new IP, I'm already excited to see where Sony goes with it. Of course, they also have the cash grabs or like really shitty ones that they throw in like that. We cannot forget those. So like, I don't know who said, I think it was Tim who said it, but they were like, whenever they miss, they miss.
Yeah,
like
it's bad. Yeah, bro, it's bad. Yeah.
Yeah, shit's crash and burn, bro. But yeah, they usually more often than not they got it though. So I think
like 10 years for a new Halo game.
Yeah. But they also need to start with the whole exclusivity bullshit. Like, bro, crossplay isn't the devil. Jeez.
Yeah, there's some games that I wish would crossplay.
And it's all Sony's fault. Yeah. They constantly make announcements or they constantly make statements about how they don't like crossplay. Like, why? Everybody's having fun with it.
Yeah, everyone, bro. Like, it's stupid.
It's so annoying.
They're like,
I guess they just come to a point where they had no choice. Because, like, bro, it's crazy to me. Like, they kind of got forced to start doing crossplay mainly because, like, the biggest game in the world, aka Call of Duty, started it. And you're not about to deny Call of Duty on your platform. You're not. So,
yeah,
they kind of had no choice. And they hated it, of course, but they shouldn't. I don't know what's the fucking issue with them in crossplay.
Nah, it's just like, you want to have fun? Buy our system. You shouldn't be buying anything else.
I don't even feel like I don't feel like they, like, preventing people from, cross-platform really makes them any extra money. I legitimately don't think it does.
I don't think so either, but they still do it.
If I don't got it, I'm just going to be like, oh, I can't play with this one homie. That's it. Like,
yeah.
We don't be sitting up there like, I got to go spend $500 on the console. Like, what? We don't care, bro. Just let us play. But whatever. It's Sony.
Yeah, so Sony gang, I mean, not really anymore, but if I had to choose one, it'd be Sony. If it's not also the Switch. I'm saying if the Switch had the full potential and just said, hey, every childhood game you have, and GameCube or Wii or Wii U game, it'd be one of the best ones for free.
Oh, definitely.
Like, what you gonna do,
Switch
bro?
doesn't have the power to be the main console you play, though. I don't know how people do that.
Yeah, when they play.
Well, I don't know. It depends on what type of player you are. If you only care about certain things,
you only care about Nintendo games, and I don't see how you play AAA games on that joint though. Those look like.
Oh yeah.
Like niggas who play 2K on that joint are down bad,
bro.
You are fucked up in the head.
They are miserably bad.
2K's on Switch?
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You are very.
First of all, why are you even trying to buy that awful game anyway?
Like,
literally, and then on top of that, why would you be playing it on the Switch, bro?
No, funny story. When my brother liked wrestling, right? And I think it was like 2K19 or 18, and he said, "Yeah, let me go on the Switch." When I tell you that thing was running at like 2 frames the whole game, and then my stepdad and my brother was like, "What, is the game broken?" I was like, "No, that's just how it runs on the Switch." They're like, "Oh no."
Niggas just playing clipped images.
Bro, I tell
like,
you,
it was a slideshow, bro.
They playing slideshow.
Yeah. Bro, I avoided the slideshow joke because I knew somebody was gonna say it. I was like, bro, clipped images.
Damn it, son.
bro.
They playing
That
Google
thing-
Docs. There you go.
Yeah, Google Docs.
Yeah.
Yo,
Man said flipagram.
They were playing fucking Wrestling Spider-Verse edition.
They playing PictoChat.
Chat.
yo,
Playing
yo.
Flipbook edition. I'm sick.
Ah, that shit's fucking funny.
Don't touch the Switch if you play AAA games. Please.
Yo,
I'm
that ass,
begging
bro.
you.
That
gonna
will
cry.
ruin your experience.
You're gonna see the wall looks like goop. It's gonna look like N64 graphics when you play AAA games.
It's so crazy to me to think that, like, all right, it's already crazy for me to think, like, I go from my PC, I literally go from like 300 frames to like 60 back on my PS5, just to think that on the Switch I'd be going at like 1520. Like, oh my god, what the fuck? Why is that allowed to be sold? It's unplayable.
It boggles my mind how so many people buy games like that and are okay with it, like on their Switch.
They don't
I'm like,
know.
What the?
They
What
just
the
don't
They
know.
legitimately don't know.
Just play the
It's
test.
just
Because they're all kids.
If you're playing
They are
the
literally
Yeah.
illiterate to what frames are.
yeah.
And if you're not a kid doing it,
It's
go
like-
do
You
something.
got those console fucking airheads talking about frames don't matter. You
Yeah,
you
it's like-
are the dumbest nigga alive when
When
you
I
say
say
frames don't
like
matter.
console heads, it's like you don't notice until you go like really high frames, and once you go back to like the frames you thought you're used to, you notice it.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I first
Bro,
went to like PC
Yeah.
to like PS5, I was like, oh, I see the difference. And went to like PS4 to PS5, it was a clear difference. I
yeah,
was
like
dear God, I was playing on that.
just honestly, bro, play what's that shit called? If you play Miles Morales, do the fucking 60 frame version versus the
30 frame version.
30 frame version. You see it all right
You're
there.
gonna see the difference. I thought I was
I don't.
scared. I
I
was
can't
like,
play on the 30 frame version, bro. I literally can't play that shit. I don't.
No,
I'm always-
yeah. Like I remember, I obviously I played it on my PS4.
did you catch
I got it on my PS5. Am I really?
Are you? Or is it just me? Alright, continue. I think Jake died.
Alright. Well, yeah, I played it on my PS4, and I tried it out on my PS5 when I got it, and it was like so much of a difference.
night and day, bro.
Yeah, it felt like it was so fluid, bro. Like
So, what do you think about playing like Doom on the Switch?
Dear God, don't. Please.
Shitty ass idea.
Please. Please.
Like,
And
Wait,
no,
wait,
not
wait.
the older
Yeah.
Dooms you can play on a fucking ass cheek, so it doesn't matter.
Bro,
But
if you
even
play the
like-
new Doom on a piece on your Switch, it's gonna look like the old Doom. Like,
When I
Or even
saw-
like Little Nightmares. Who the hell is playing? Who are playing? Like, why are people playing these games on the fucking?
When I
Switch?
saw Doom Eternal on Switch, I damn near cried. I was like, why the fuck is that on there?
Why is it there?
he felt
Like,
so
oh,
betrayed.
The best game of all time. What do you mean?
Like who's
Alright,
playing
alright.
these games?
Yeah.
I mean, people that only want a Switch for Nintendo exclusivity, and like they're like, hey, I really don't need another system when I can just play on my Switch. And they're
I know a
You
couple
do need
niggas
that
like
other
that.
system.
Or but
They-
who's really playing Just Dance on the Switch?
Well, here's why. Sony, I mean, my,
I am.
I mean, I think most people were. I mean, they're playing on their Wii
Just
forever.
Dance?
Yeah.
I think they're trying to do this thing, trying to make it seem like the fucking what's that shit called? They're trying to make it seem like the console is like some grand, like
Yeah.
ultra. It can do all things, and it's like, I
That's the
don't
vibe
know.
I get as well.
I
They're
don't
making
know.
another one that has 4K.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Switch Pro.
bro.
And,
Yeah, nah,
and they're making a Switch Pro?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that
heard
has
about it too,
4K
yeah,
and 60
All
frames.
right, all right,
Not
PlayStation.
Not
All
so.
it's gonna do is just make you look slightly less terrible, and will make all the Nintendo games look beautiful. That's all it does.
They already look good on what's running though. That's what I
Yeah,
don't
it
get.
does. It looks great.
I'm not getting the Switch, bro. There's no fucking point.
There's no reason. I was just playing. That's the only reason I touched my Switch. Is I'm only
Every game that you would need it for is already on another console that you can do that on.
Yeah.
I can go and play Doom Eternal in 4K right now on my PC. I've done it. I can go do that without the fucking Pro. And I get it. Some people, do, but all right. For the people that already have a Switch and they've been using the Switch as their like main console, they won't give a fuck about that. They haven't had it changed for years. Why would they care to go get a Switch? Bro, like the upgrade is not. They don't care about the upgrade. That's the thing. It's like, who are you selling this for? To like enthusiast kind of thing. Like, and I consider myself like a low tier enthusiast in the sense that like I'll pick up a bunch of dumb shit just to test it out because I love technology and I like to see how things work. But I'm not crazy. Like, I'm not gonna waste my money. Like, I would rather buy it because I know it's gonna be useful, or think that it's gonna be useful as opposed to just having it to have. Like my daddy's a person who does things. He just buys things to have it because he likes to test out technology. And from that, I'm more like I would rather just be like, yeah, I think I will really use this, or I know I'm gonna really use this, and then buy it. I don't take risks on that.
Yeah.
Care. But like, so they're clearly doing this for those who do like, all right, I like to buy everything, you know. So
I would say it's more of like the people. It's like their parents, because the same thing happened when the DS
Yes.
came out, where literally any game came out and they would have like like Disney Infinity. It's like, oh, you can play Disney Infinity on every console and the DS too, just in case you want it. But we all know the DS version is terrible, but it was there for the parents. They're like, oh look, that game you wanted, it's on your DS. Here you go. And
Yeah, but it's
that
complete
happens
trash.
to be multiple times. Happens to like Ben 10, Disney Infinity, any game. If it is the DS version, it probably
What did you have on Disney Infinity?
it was just mini games. That's why I literally was like, this ain't the commercials. I want
But
a
why?
refund. And
Why
there's
was
like
the Sims on the DSR? You know.
a lot. I was like, bro, I want my refund back. This ain't what I see on the commercials. They're like, no, bro, they're the same game. Look, it says the name. And I'm like, nah, you know what I mean. And it looked at the gameplay for the DS and like the Xbox 360 version. They're like, oh, he's right. And then ever since then,
If
they
you
just
look
never
at
done
it-
the DS version. Because that's what happens.
Yeah,
I
they
think
screwed you over.
that's what most kids, I'm pretty sure, is going on. If they want, like, I don't know, Doom Eternal, and it's like, well, it's on the Switch, you could get it for him. And probably like that. Or like literally any
But
other
it's-
game. It was like that.
are we really confining to
From
fucking
within like
Jinjo?
20 minutes.
It's literally like what you said about like mini games. Like it is like this like the Sims. I thought it was gonna be like, you know, a real Sims game or whatever. It's fucking mini games. You play every game on the DSi was a mini game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nintendo.
It's mini game simulator.
Nintendo.
We have
loved
come
it.
a long way in the world of
Parents' wallets.
no, we've come a long way in the world of mobile games. Like mobile games are now just like take an example like Genshin Impact, how it's like a game on the phone that like is the same game throughout all consoles that you played on. Like we didn't used to have that. Like y'all said, it was more like, oh, here's Call of Duty, but it's fucking on rails. It's an on rail shooter. It's like, bro, I'm not trying to play that shit, you know. So I think we've come a long way.
Yeah. So at least it's better for them. You might get like a dog water version of the game, but you're still playing it. Back in back in our days, we just play mini games. That's it.
We did.
Yeah.
Oh my god, we got fucked over, bro. All of us.
We did. We really got fucked. Like honestly,
Y'all did.
It bent us over.
Bro,
it was. They really
I
did.
remember I was so happy for this game. I was like, let's go. Because I had like Xbox 360. So I think that Xbox 360 commercials. I got my DS. I was like, oh, it's time. I think it was one of the Power Rangers games. And I was like, oh, it's time. They're doomed. It was mini games. I was like, what is this?
It was a catfish. Literally a fucking catfish.
Bro, that shit pissed me off. Like Loki, that shit was one of the saltiest moments of my life. That shit was, bro. I was so pissed.
And especially like
I know, right, shit.
it was expensive for that little chip. So it was like you had to play the game,
And
you
they're
know?
like, nah, bro, that's the game you want. Look, it says on the cover. It's like, no, it's different.
Mm.
You don't know.
We were better off just playing Candy Crush on the phone.
That's the one thing I do like. I like that my dad actually knew the difference. So when I told him the situation, he was like, "Oh, that really sucks."
You know, me,
Oh.
I would specifically put it for like say if it was like a Christmas list, put Xbox 360 version. Like I made sure, bro.
My parents made sure to get me the cheapest version. But they tried. They tried. They tried.
I
Nah,
hated my DS.
Nah, they ain't trying no, Joe. No, but
Apple was just
Okay,
mini
so
games and Mario. That's all.
I have this one Mario game right now, right? Because I still have my DSi. It runs so badly, like it's so slow.
wait, what is it called?
Ah, shit! I think it was like I gotta find it. Let me look for it. But I was like, it runs so fucking slow.
Is it new Super
shitty
Mario
ass
Bros?
games.
No, I don't think so.
Is the one with the
Um,
cats?
Is it
Cat.
64?
I don't know exactly what Eli's talking about.
You're
too.
talking
I
about
don't-
3D World, the one with
Yeah.
the cats.
Oh,
Was it
That's
3D
on
3D
the
World?
World?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, wait, I thought
that
3D
is-
World was only for the 3DS.
Yeah, it was only for
I
3D.
think
No,
it
wait.
was
No,
City
but
Land.
I remember
Oh,
now.
Land.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
Okay.
I see. So yeah,
Remember when they put the 3D effect on the 3DS and it fucked
Oh,
kids'
yeah.
eyes
And it
up?
hurt.
Oh,
It
yeah.
hurt.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, speaking of DS games, yo, I remember when they had not even just DS, but like for Wii too. I remember when they announced Mario and Sonic Olympic games, yo, and they had that awesome ass trailer for it, yo.
That's another thing.
Oh
They could
my
maybe part
God.
3, the Wii version,
Yes.
the DS version. They gave me the DS, bro. That DS.
No,
version
I
was
actually really
awesome.
like the DS version. No,
No.
I really like the DS.
I was like,
The
why
game?
did you do this to me?
The game
Yeah.
I found was Super Mario. That shit runs like ass right now on my
Super
DS.
Mario.
Yeah. But
Is,
I like to play Yoshi Island still.
Oh, I
It's
know.
really fun.
I like Super Mario World with Yoshi's Island.
No, it's two different games.
Yeah.
One is literally Super Mario.
It's probably
Super
because the
Mario
port
DS.
is like really bad. Then
I mean, yeah,
It-
they don't have the best sports either.
no, yeah, because I remember they had like a port for like Sonic, the old Sonic games, and it was really.
Yeah. No, Rocket with the Sonic.
I love Sonic, but you know that.
Sonic?
Yeah. I guess we'll move on to topic number 2. I'll let Banjo introduce this topic.
All right. So
Here we go.
we're talking. It's funny how this came about. 'Cause we were talking about how school used to be so regulated when it comes to how you can use the bathroom, when you can use the bathroom, and how many can go to the bathroom at the same time. It was such bullshit. But our boy Amin decided to say some dumb shit, and he was like, "Bro, you gonna make these kids soft?" I mean, he was joking, but he was like, "You gonna make these kids soft? They're supposed to." Oh wait, no wait. Well, all right. Basically, Joel was saying that whenever, well, I was saying that like, bro, it had to be crazy how like, or it had to be illegal how they would make you stay in a classroom if one of you guys are already out. And Joe was like, yeah, they're trying to change that now. And me was like, bro, they're gonna make these kids soft. That was one of the hardest, struggles. So then
Like, obviously, I wasn't serious.
I know I just said you were joking.
I did say that.
Anyways, so this brought me to another point: suffering and how it's viewed in life. I think suffering is totally unnecessary. I don't think you need to learn lessons from suffering. I don't think there needs to be suffering in order for you to be a better person. And I don't think that trauma makes you a better person either. I think it makes you realize certain things. I think you can definitely learn from a lot of suffering. I think suffering allows us to see the world in a perspective that we really don't want to see, but it is completely unnecessary. So it brought me to a point that I've had for a while in my life, which is, and I'm not obviously not the only person on the planet. It's huge. It's like there are so many in-depth books, movies, documentaries. There are so many things you can watch that goes into much depth on this subject, but it's essentially, a criticism on religion. Because as a religious person, you have to go forward in your life knowing that there is an all-powerful God that apparently cares about you and everything on this planet. Because it apparently created everything, so it should care, or it says that it cares, and that it loves you, but it allows you to suffer. And as I said, there is no reason, there's no purpose in suffering. There's nothing there. You don't need it. There are people who learn the same lessons as you do without suffering the way that you do. So it's completely unnecessary. And I'm not saying that suffering isn't something that will just vanish or that it has to vanish. My point is, obviously, suffering is a part of life. It happens because the world is not a fucking game, not a fairy tale. It's like just go through its motions as nature. But what I am saying is to the religious people, how do you justify suffering? Why is it necessary? So if anyone wants to, in their word, from their religious perspective, explain to me why you feel like suffering is necessary, because it's clearly a part of God's plan to make everyone suffer. So I want to know, what is it that makes it necessary? Is my question. I don't think that I haven't thought of rebuttals to my point, because I like I said, there are plenty of things I read. I went into much depth. Like, Jewel, remember, I talked to her about this a while ago. I can go into much depth on this subject.
Yeah.
Like, there are so many layers to this subject, and I don't think there's one thing anyone can tell me that can change my mind on the fact that it is pretty insane for you to assume that a God has all powerful, an all powerful stance, and he literally could not get rid of suffering because he doesn't want to. Is there a reason for it? What does it say? And then I say, like, obviously text, religious texts, all of them go into why suffering is a thing, because you're going to ask that question: why do we need to suffer? And like I said, I've had my rebuttals on it, but I don't think the rebuttals make any sense. Like, I don't think they do. They're like, okay, suffering exists because we learn from it and we grow from it, and we should help people in suffering because it's this thing that exists, and it exists because he said so. And it's like, okay, well, what is the why? Well, the why is because life is a test. There's a challenge there. There's a plan he has for you. So when you're suffering, you're not really suffering because you just got to wait it out until something better comes, etc., etc. And none of those things make sense.
Yeah. I think another thing that makes me think about is, like, if suffering is so necessary, then why is it like the goal of a parent, for the most part, as everyone I think says, is like to eliminate the suffering of their child? If suffering is so necessary, then why do people try to eliminate it, I guess, in their children, if it's so necessary? I feel like it's a little contradictory, and especially, like, I think it could come across as a little, I don't know, like, maybe not cynical, but I think it's definitely interesting to see how people are like, well, you just have to go through it, or you have to suffer and you will get through it. And I think it can be a harmful perspective sometimes.
I see.
To be comfortable in suffering.
I feel like when it comes to suffering and removing said suffering, like, with the peeing thing, like, you couldn't hold in your pee until someone else had to go through. It's more like regression, like, it's like, why did I have to go through this? But this new generation has to go through this. It's like we see it even when we grow up. It's like, you lucky you're not in my generation, because back in my day, I had to go this, and this, and we're like, we don't care. So I feel like it's the same way with, like, how we always grow up, like, how no matter what, how generations are gonna be. Like, I don't know if we're gonna be like that. Probably will. Or like, oh, you lucky niggas, I had to, hold in my pee when I had to use the restroom, or like, anytime I did something, we actually had detention for like an hour, and you niggas get like 5 minutes, because it's like a generational thing. And I feel like it's more of like a spiteful thing. If I have to go through it, then you should too, because you don't care about yourself at the end of the day, because that's how we are. It's more like that thing for us.
But yeah, I mean, to create such an evil thing, that is suffering, which is this thing that I'm forcing you to have, with the explanation being that you have to have it because you have to have it, as opposed to actually explaining what is the purpose. Why am I supposed to feel this pain? Why is pain so prevalent in life? Why is it this thing that we hold on to? Why, you know what I mean? Like, you hold on to trauma.
Yes.
Why is it this thing that I carry every day? Why is it the thing that I have to be forced to grow from if there is no clear answer to why it exists in the first place? Because it can 100% not exist. There's no need for a world of pain with pain. There's no need for it.
Yeah.
Unless you're trying to strike fear into someone. Because literally, what religion tells you is that if you don't, there's going to be a place of suffering when you die. Literally, the reason that so many people stick to religion is because they're afraid of going to a place of suffering when you already live in a place of suffering. You already live in a daily suffering planet. Like Earth is full of suffering, and maybe your suffering isn't as bad as some other suffering of other people's suffering. But say you are those people, or even just yourself, you do suffer. We all do. How do you do it? How bad is it? Depends on where you are, et cetera, et cetera. At the end of the day, though, we all have a moment in life, especially where it just overwhelms you. And the whole fear of life is more suffering. So and it's like you strive to do things. You don't want to be broke, because being broke means you're going to go hungry. You're going to be on the street. You're going to be suffering. You do things to not suffer. That is like life's goal, is to not suffer, to survive, right? That's what is told to you. And then it tells you again that you have to follow a text to then not suffer even after all your suffering.
Hey, Kev,
That's
we're in
good.
a podcast. It was good.
And I just think that's very fucking. First off, like Joel said, I honestly think it's cynical. Like, you don't. Joel said maybe no. I think it is.
I didn't want to be like overtly pessimistic, but I do high key think it is cynical.
I don't think it's pessimistic to say that suffering is
It's just
cynical.
being real.
I think it's a terrible idea for somebody to sit there and think that there's a grand plan for their suffering when it doesn't need to exist. You don't have to suffer. But once again, I want to hear if anybody does have a perspective that maybe I'm not getting.
I'm guessing that no matter what, suffering will always be like our main source of like punishment, you know? Like when it comes to rules and stuff, we don't do it because we're scared to break them. We're scared because the consequences of being caught. Like there was a time where niggas got their heads chopped off for stealing bread. Like if you live in those times, you're doomed. Yeah, I'm not gonna steal bread because I'm gonna die. And we live in a world where if you do like something slightly wrong and the system isn't in your way, then you're literally in like a prison or a jail where it's known to get, all these horrible things done to you, but you deserve it because you did something bad. Even though it could be like, I don't know, I was trying to actually eat for once in my life. So, yeah. So, suffering, is always known as the main source of punishment. And what they use is like, even in religion, is to fear because this person can give you the ultimate punishment and no one else can do that. So,
like 3%. Thank you guys all for watching this video. I really appreciate you being
I
here.
think
I mean, we can hear that. We can hear that.
I think it's
What was
really
he watching?
Oh my god. I don't know.
I think
Also,
it's
Joel.
really-
Oh, sorry, never mind.
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about it after the podcast, Kev. Yeah.
I think it's really unfortunate how we, not how like how but how we as a society view suffering. And like Aaron said, like a lot of it, or as Banjo said actually, like a lot of it does stem from religion, whether we like it or not. And I don't think a lot of people admit to that. Like a lot of people say like, oh, it's not religion. I just believe in that. Like that's just something I believe in. Like, no, you were conditioned by religion to believe in that. And every single religion has some type of fear or some type of suffering associated with it. And even in religions where you like so-called eliminate sufferings, there are still underlying sufferings and trauma that still exists. And like Banjo said, like it doesn't have to exist. And one of the things that I think that is important in terms of like progression as a society is like admitting to that. I think to solve most of the problems we have is to stop being cynical in those ways, especially like I hear a lot of old people say like, man, you had it easy, or you had it sweet, or you didn't have it as bad as me.
I hate when they say
And
that shit.
I know it's really bad. It's really harmful. And
Like, sorry, I didn't have to struggle. Like,
Like, sorry.
yeah, like
I got
shouldn't mean
like I thought you like better our living condition so I wouldn't have to struggle. Like,
yeah.
Like some.
And what I just say, you hold on to stuff. People
Right.
hold on to pain. Suffering is held on to. It is
But
like
shouldn't
ingrained into you once it happens to you because it is something so horrible that you can't explain it any other way besides applying it to yourself, letting it drive you, or letting it eat you. Suffering is this thing that is so core to who we are, but in the true sense, it isn't necessary to who we are. Like, you don't have to suffer.
Yeah.
Because
And you-
anytime something bad happens to you in a sense, you have a way to be like, damn, that really shouldn't have happened. Because no suffering isn't scientifically, spiritually, like logically, like not real. You know why things happen. It hurts to know why things happen. So that's why I bring it back to. That's why I bring it back to religion, because when you have this person that has the ability to not only take away suffering as it is, but recreate it as something positive. Like, what I mean is, I can tell you, like, if suffering is this necessary thing to to who we are, as they will tell you, why not make suffering just something else? Maybe something completely different that I don't have the half of a brain to come up with. But my point is, if you're this all powerful, all moving, can do whatever type person, you can change that to be whichever way you want it to. And then whatever makes sense will make sense because you can say it makes sense. And it doesn't need any other further explanation besides the fact that you said it makes sense. And I know that can be the same thing applied to suffering. But we have logical ways to explain why it doesn't need to be. Versus if there was something that you can find that there's like, oh, there's a miracle. Why does this exist? Then you could say, oh, we don't need it. But as it stands, it's literally there to fuck with you in every way possible. It's literally there to hold you down as an individual. It's literally there to hold you down as a group. All it does is cause damage to everything. And of course, through destruction, after destruction there comes creation. So, for example, slavery in America, good example for it. Long time, people suffering, et cetera, et cetera. Then, through the ashes of that, some great art, some amazing architecture, et cetera, blah, blah, blah. Suffering does create peace, beautiful things at the end of it. But those beautiful things can come without it. It's not necessary. It is a part of life, so it is something that you must accept as that. But from the standpoint of a God, it is absolutely unnecessary. And I don't really see a point that, like, I guess, like, Eli stated that suffering is a punishment. So you're like, okay, how can I make, all right, if you're a God, obviously you want the praise, etc. That's what a lot of the God ideology goes behind. How can I make these people fear me further than just the fact that I created them? Even though that should be enough, because if I created you, you should definitely fear, because I could take you away immediately. But say the point of it is, like he said, it is as a punishment. A punishment for insert thing that you do. A punishment for insert blah, blah, blah. But truthfully, suffering causes other suffering. So suffering itself is a punishment of a punishment. Of a punishment of a punishment. It's a loop. It's a cycle. with that mindset, all you've done is create a paradox. Because then there's no end to it. There's no point to it. And once again, there's no necessity. It just exists because it can. It doesn't exist because it has to. You see the difference on that? And that's why there's no like godly intervention behind it. There's just this thing that exists because it can and it will. Not it has to because et cetera, et cetera. Sin exists because God has to put rules and regulations on humanity to govern who we are, what we are spiritually, so He can then judge us. I understand why sin is. I understand that. I don't get suffering. It doesn't make sense to what the God ideology is, because if you're trying to go with the idea that sin exists and so does suffering exists, sinning is suffering, suffering is sinning. It's interchangeable in that sense. Like one creates the other. And like I said, if you want to govern people, you would obviously put rules on them. So the rules make sense. Why are you enabling rules if you don't want them to exist? And don't come at me with the free will bullshit, because there is no free will when you tell me that I have to do something to not suffer, when then you make suffering the main punishment of life. But take with that what you will.
Yes.
I think another part of that is like, if God loves you so much, if there's a superior being that loves you so much, why the hell would they want you to suffer? And it's not about being a test or whatever. It sounds like, no offense, but to anyone that's religious, but it kind of sounds like a dickhead. Why the hell would he want you to suffer? Like,
God is toxic?
I think so.
Cancel?
Cancel God.
What?
I think so. I think we should. I always think about like how different our society would be and how different we would interact with each other if we lived in a very secular way.
We literally couldn't even fathom a world without, because it's
can't.
been so built on it, and it seems weird almost. So it would have to be a thing that you have to see to believe.
Yes.
Because if you start to dissect every part of society that is influenced so much and so heavily by religion, first off, all the bad parts are.
It's everything. The justice system, even morality, whether we like it or not, where our morals stem from, comes from that. Whether we like that or not. And whether you are religious or not, you are still products of everyone else that is religious or whatever it is. So I think that's also important to keep in mind. So yeah, you're right. You're completely right.
Yes.
Yeah.
But maybe it's just me.
And I don't fault niggas for like having their religion, chasing their religion. I do question, and I do press on it, because it's something that's important to me. So to my guys, to people that talk to me, you're gonna get that. People who don't know me, just passing by, coworkers, all that shit. I don't care what you do with religion. I question my guys about their spirituality because I legitimately care about like your more.
Is it okay if I add something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, of course.
So basically, what I was gonna say is that's a good thing, because we're Catholic by default in our family. We're Roman Catholic, but everything I do doesn't revolve around it. Like I take my communion, my confirmation. I've gone to Catholic school, but I feel like you're not really thinking unless you question your religion. Like it's a good thing to question religion, because we should. It's always good to have questions in general, because we don't know how everything is set in stone. Like it's I question my religion sometimes too. I'm just like, is all this true? Is all this like worth it? Like, because you see a lot of things. Like I know a lot of people that go to church. Like I always grew up with my aunt who's religious telling me how if you go to church, it's good. You're pure and all that. But like as I went to church, you would see some people that like she would hang out with. And, like I would just hang out with those people, and they would just talk bad about other people they knew. and it's like, oh, like, but I go to church, you know, they use it to like to negate something, like, oh, because I go to church, like I can say this about this person, like, and I question it too, you know. And you have things on the news where like what you hear like priests doing with kids and all that stuff, like, you know, like not everything about the church is pure. That's why I question everything, you know, because you can't believe everything.
So Kevin, I have a question for you. As someone that grew up in a Catholic household and a Catholic family that practices Catholicism in some kind of way, like how do you view suffering? Like the like what we were driving is that like I think like suffering isn't necessary at all, but like from your perspective, and like I guess your religion, like why is it necessary?
Like, why is suffering necessary for
Oh
us?
yeah, like why is that a thing? And
Suffering's
why?
a,
Yeah, you can go.
sorry.
Sorry. No, you're fine.
I was just gonna say suffering is like, I feel like that's just like a normal thing we do. Like, it's okay to suffer. Like, you know, there's a lot of times where we're at our lowest points, and like, you know, we're hopeless sometimes, and like all you can do is just like suffer and like suffer. I mean, like in a sense where like you're just hopeless of something. Like wow, like I'm sad she left me and all that. Like that's completely normal. Like I feel like that's okay for us. It's okay for us to suffer, but I don't think it's okay to like impose it on another person. Like, you know, like I don't think people should be like, yo, like I want this guy to suffer because of this and that. 'Cause you never wish harm on somebody, but it's completely normal to experience it yourself, like by default. You know, like that's something normal. But like I
Yeah.
don't. I feel like my fault. I was gonna say I feel like we shouldn't like we shouldn't belittle someone's suffering in comparison to others. Like we shouldn't compare like how one is suffering over the other. Like, you know, like you like literally like what I think it was Banjo or Jake was saying, like you can't say one is worse than the other because to some degree everyone's affected differently.
So
You
my
know.
other
Well,
question is, like, so God, like, you know, in Christianity especially, it's like they have a whole song about, you know, Jesus loves me. The Bible tells me so. So Jesus loves you so much. Why does he want you in pain? Like, why is this thing of pain necessary? Like, what do you, and especially like when you're having kids, right? Let's just say you're having kids and you're like, you know, you want to protect them from the world so they don't suffer. So why is it necessary?
I feel like
It
maybe
doesn't.
it's
I
just
feel like it
like
doesn't have to happen.
I feel like maybe it's just like since we experience it, we protect our kids from like what we shouldn't do as parents and what we don't want them to experience. Like for example, you know, my mother used to get beat all the time as a kid, like badly, like you know, traditional style, like belt, whatever, you know. And as I got older, you know, I was always curious, like, Mom, how come you never beat us as kids, like how you told us? And then she's like, I don't want you guys to go through the same thing I had to go through, stuff like that, or like, you know, like, well, that's kind of like basic, but let me just go deeper, like, you know, my mom from DR lived poor, you could say. Like we lived on a farm or whatever, didn't have money, but you know, couldn't afford a lot. And then when they come to America, they find a better life. Like the fact that she escaped that from all that suffering she had to deal with back then and found a better lifestyle, it was like in hopes like her kids will live better lives. And like I think it's paid off, you know. It's kind of the same
Sorry.
like how what happened?
No, you're good. Sorry. I had another question to get done.
Wait, what were you saying? I'm sorry. I couldn't hear
I
that.
was. No, you're fine. You can continue. I just had another question.
Oh no, go ahead.
So, if God has the power to eliminate suffering, why doesn't He do it? Because, like Banjo said, I think we can exist without it. Um, you can exist and you can thrive without suffering, and that's kind of what we're trying to do as a society, no? By having outreach programs and trying to better the justice system and trying to make the world a better place by eliminating suffering. So why is it? So why if God loves everyone so much, why doesn't He just take it away? Or like why is that a thing?
Why do we have to suffer? I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's just God. Like, I feel like it's just what He has to do because, like, it's like teaching us lessons too, like what we don't want to do. So I feel like it's just how we learn to do better. You know, But in most cases, I feel like it's not necessary. Like if we're poor by default, I feel like that's nobody's fault. Like if they're born into that, you know. But in some cases, I feel like it's necessary. Like, oh, you know, I fucked up here. This is what I actually have to work on. Like you realize all that, you know. But yeah, I get the point you're trying to make.
Well, I think
Yeah.
God sees himself as majesty. So to put you beneath me is to make you feel things that I don't have to feel.
He know my
Think about it. When there's an abusive person, to put them beneath them, they're going to do things that they don't have to deal with.
Hmm.
They don't have to deal with getting beat. They don't have to deal with being talked to, you know, condescendingly, et cetera, et cetera. But I can make you feel that because you're beneath me in my eyes. So that's why I do it.
Yeah.
That is not a thing that most people would agree is like morally correct. Like a lot, if you ask a lot of people, is that
Yeah.
morally
They'll say
good
they
to do
want
that? They would
someone.
tell you
Yeah.
no.
But they
However,
do it, and I think they project
in
it.
nature, I was using this for an example earlier. I take a wolf pack, for example. The alpha will always resort to putting something beneath themselves to make sure you feel whatever person is their beta that makes them feel less than them, put you beneath me because I have this hierarchy. You know, I'm at the top of it, and therefore everything is ran by me. And there never needs to be any type of say on that. It just is what it is. You see that in nature, not just with wolves, but you see it in dogs as well. You see that there, and it's like, okay, we as humans aren't that way. We don't usually see people as beneath us, but obviously, you know, you got people who do. But when we do it, it's seen as an evil thing to God. God sees that same thing that He does as evil when we do it because once again, you're beneath me. You shouldn't be feeling like you're more powerful than anybody, not even your peers. Because truthfully, even if you're stronger than your peer, you make it, you know, you assert that onto your peer, you're still not greater than me. Is what He really states. So this is a power struggle. That's what suffering is about. Suffering doesn't exist to better your life. Suffering doesn't exist to keep you sane. Suffering doesn't exist to help you understand where you're going, how to become better, why you should do things better. Suffering exists to make you feel less than God. That is point blank period why it exists. Why it exists is because of that reason. Why it needs to exist based off the God is all good, there isn't a greater being, and etc., there is no answer. Because to me, that is morally diminishing. I don't think that anybody in power should feel like everybody beneath them needs to feel like they are damn near dying every day just because I feel like you're worse than me. But that's how I feel it. Other people can say they don't agree with that, but then what do you do when you're going on these missionary missions, et cetera, et cetera? You're trying to eliminate suffering. So you don't like suffering either. No one can say they like suffering. So why is it that you are accepting suffering as a thing of life bestowed to you by a God because of the fact that you're beneath? Like, that's insanity. You are contradicting what it is that you're saying that suffering is supposed to negate, which is that suffering is supposed to negate a world of selfishness. It's supposed to negate a world of evilness because, oh, if you do evil things, you suffer. But you always suffer, regardless of if you're evil or not. And if anything, a lot of the times, evil people get it better than the people that do good in life. Like a lot of the times. I mean, look at the American economic system. The people at the top are some of the most gruesome, evil, dirty people in the world. Why don't they suffer? Why don't they suffer as much as the bottom? Well, because they did what I just told you God did, which is to make others suffer so they don't have to. Extract my suffering to someone else now I can be at the top. It's a fucking like that's demonic to me to think that somebody would do something like that to someone. But as a God perspective, people accept it because they're like, well, maybe he's doing that, but there's some type of good underneath it. Like maybe this is the way that he set it up, so we can what? So we can what? That is a question right there. So we can what is the purpose of trying to? We know we were beneath you by the fact that you created us. We don't need to be reminded daily that we are beneath. It doesn't change anything. What? But that's my question.
I think another thing is like people say like
Wait, I'll
God
be
is
back. I'm sorry.
people say that God is within you. So if God is within you, then we all have the capacity to also do that. And I think that's how suffering continues to exist and how trauma is how the trauma cycle continues to exist as well. But what do you guys think?
I couldn't answer that because I don't know.
I started this off by saying it's a very complex subject, and I obviously have done plenty of research on it to have this conversation. I didn't think anybody else really have as much as I have, so it would be hard to come up with a rebuttal on the spot for this. Like if I didn't know as much as I knew about it, and someone came to me with this, I'll say the same. I don't fucking know, But I do this to spark the seed within you to hopefully one day understand why suffering is so important to understanding the secrets of religion, the purpose of it, and why it exists. Because it is probably key number one point of why it is false. But to me, I feel like that is for you to figure out. I just mentioned it today because I think about it a lot, obviously, and it's something that I had to really get. I really had to get it to understand why I can't be religious. I had to understand that religion is literally telling me that I am worthless. But then coats it and lies to me and tell me that I am powerful beneath my worthlessness.
And then hop in the Benz after.
So, I think once like that statement right there, just if you take anything from this statement at all, just understand this. Religion states you as worthless. That is why pride is the cardinal sin. Then it tells you that you are powerful. That's why it tells you that you have free will. But it tells you you're powerful.
It's literally a contradiction. It
tells you are powerful through your worthlessness by then giving you a list of rules why you cannot live a certain way, and then you will suffer if you don't forever. That is, if you don't take anything from anything I've said today at all, just understand that. Mm-hmm. Think about it.
I mean,
really, like I'm not.
I mean, I find the hypocrisy. Like, there's this one story about. I think this is actually a really good story for suffering. There's a story in the Bible, right, about this one priest that no matter what, will always love God, and that was like, hey, no way that he's gonna love you after all the things he does. So what he does, he puts him in the situation to make some dirt poor, makes some basic.
Talking about Job.
Yeah.
You know the situation where make him dirt poor, all his kids and stuff dies, and he's like, yeah, I still love God though. Like that's a strong reason of like, well, you need to do that in the first place because he loves you. Why would you do that? And it's to show that no matter what, that you're still valid to me, even after all these things I give you. And he even says that you shouldn't fear anything except me. Imagine if anybody, like any human, would say you shouldn't fear anything except me. Be kind of.
Yes. Imagine a human coming to your house, killing your family, burning your assets, selling all your stocks to fucking pennies, and then throwing them into the water, and then telling you that you should only fear me. That's essentially what happened. Rob killed his family, and then told you that guess what? You're my bitch, and people just accept that. People see that story as powerful because they're like, even through his pain, he chose God.
No, that's true.
I was like, that's not necessary.
I want an explanation behind why you think that is.
Yeah, I was like,
why you think that is a story.
Like,
I hate that story.
I
really hate that story because it just reiterates what I said. You are worthless to this. He doesn't see you as equal, and And you don't have to be seen as equal by something that creates you. However, you should be seen as a being that you should treat well. Why would I do that to you? To prove that you love me?
Why did you do
If
that?
I already knew you did, because I made you to do that. That's the thing. If I made you to love me, why would I take away things from you to make sure I know that you love me? When I can literally just make you do whatever I want you. Why do I make you suffer though? Why do I choose to make you do that? As opposed to feeling like, why couldn't his story be, I love God, and to prove that I love God, I'm going to continue to love God, and then God's going to make my kids grow up to be big and strong. They're going to do awesome things in life. My warm fuzzy house is going to be awesome throughout my life. We're going to renovate it. We're going to be rich. We're going to do, or not even just rich, but we're going to live a normal, healthy life. I'm going to prosper. We're going to help our community out, etc., etc. Why couldn't they make him do that? Why did they make him die inside and still have to accept that he is more worthless than something that created a pain for him that doesn't need to exist because he just gave his entire heart to you? And it is literally like being in a relationship that you give your heart away to, and then that person then spits in your fucking face.
Let me say this, bro. I remember I thought about this really hard. And I was like, some people who are really close to religion, really, it's the same thing as a gateway drug. Like,
Yeah.
so many people literally need religion in their life, or they're not going to be able to function. And it's so weird. Like,
I think religion is a cult, but that's my 2 cents.
I mean,
And
it is.
I think
I mean, by
another thing,
definition, it is. Yeah.
another thing that's so scary is that like when you're suffering, people will tell you that it's because you do not have faith in God that you are suffering. I think that's so.
But
so then
they will blame you. They will blame you because you're not
Yes.
with them.
because you are not
they're
with
like-
them, but they are also suffering.
They'll be like,
So-
you're suffering because you have no faith in God. But if you did have faith in God, just know that you're suffering as a
You're
person.
still going to be
You're still
suffering.
gonna
in some
suffer,
way.
if not even more, because you are giving your soul to something that literally does not want you to progress. It wants you to be subordinate. And
Literally-
one of
You can either say this: if you don't have faith, you suffer because you don't have faith. If you have faith, you suffer because there's a purpose for you. Like, that is the equivalent. Like, if you took if somebody did a crime and they were like, yeah, I did it because this person said this about me, because they said they don't think I'm here, so then I killed his family, and then it was like, oh, well, now I know that you're here. Okay, what are you going to do now? Oh, I'm going to kill another family, because now that I killed that family because they know that I'm here, I'm going to do it again to make sure these people that know that I'm already here know that I'm already here. And if you literally hear that, you think that is madness. Like, that, what I just said doesn't even make sense. But that is what it is. That is literally what it is. It is, I am telling you that I'm here by telling you that I am here by telling you that I am here.
Thank God.
It's a fucking mind fuck.
For that.
And it's like, bro, then they put all these fucking bullshit things in your face, like, oh, guess what? I'm making these people suffer in the world by not eating. So maybe one day maybe a few weeks out of your life, stop eating for a bit so you can feel the suffering of others. What the fuck?
I know, but why
What
would
the
you?
fuck?
But that is not. That is also not empathy. Empathy is not feeling the suffering for others. It's not like I'm suffering, so you have to suffer too. It is I can relate that somehow, but why would you want that? That literally just creates more suffering. It's like a falsehood of empowerment, and I think what's also like rubs me the wrong way is that like they like the Bible and many religious texts are very very it's very violent, very ill. Like the way that they describe things is very ill, and sometimes you read a story and it makes you feel disgusting, or something like that. And they take these books and they water it down into like some like positive bullshit, and they feed it to children, and that also rubs me the wrong way. Like they'll take a story about like, you know, like murdering a whole family for not believing God, and be like, and they'll like make it about some like
Hey yo.
some stupid thing for a child to read, and I think it's so.
Because Noah took a couple of baddies, his kids, some animals, and was like, alright, fuck the rest of y'all though. Like, bro.
Not so like a Joe Witnesses has these websites where they like have videos for kids. Like they're like these really great animated videos. And it's a lot of just weird misleading shit.
I feel like religion has a lot of propaganda as well. Like
A
what
lot
you're
of
saying.
propaganda.
Oh my God. In a world with religion, you have the utmost propaganda ever, bro.
Yeah.
I'm going to make you feel like everything that you do isn't purposeful. Your faith is your only reason to exist. But I'm going to make your life about a bunch of other things that you're going to care about that you shouldn't care about, because really this is more important than that thing that you care about. I can go tongue twisting religion with you all day, and it doesn't sound like it makes any sense, because I'm making it really as to the core of what it is, which is that it doesn't make any sense. There isn't any purpose in that. And once again, I am not here to bash niggas on whatever it is that they grew up with, whatever it is that they attach themselves to. Nigga, do you. At the end of the day, do you. I talk to my niggas about this because I care about your immortal soul not just being taken from you by something that you don't even actually understand because you haven't taken the time to understand it. That's why I talk to you niggas about the situation, and other niggas that I really fuck with about the situation, because I'm not about to be talking to some random I can't influence, can't actually say anything to because they don't know me. But to my guys who I legitimately care about, I don't say it to get away from you, even though I wish you would. I do say this though, really think about it. Just make that make sense in your mind. Don't take it from me, don't take it from the book, take it from yourself. Think about it. And if it honestly does make sense to you, I think that is awesome. I like not even like bullshit. I think it's beautiful for somebody to come to terms with the soul that they have, and that you know, like whatever it is that they're giving it to, that they feel like they actually gave it to you. But when I talk to you and you tell me you don't know, you don't have the answer, you can't tell me this, you can't explain it to me, and then we talk again and you still can't, and you have this struggle trying to understand it, it bothers me, it scares me, because you don't get that is your soul. Like, it is more important than anything to understand your soul. Now, I speak that so much because it really is, because that is the one true thing to you. That's the oldest thing that you have, is the energy within you. Energy has existed forever. That's the oldest part of you. That's the thing that is taking the least amount of care of, because people don't actually get what it means. And it's hard to get what it means because you can't see it. It's not tangible. You can't feel it yourself. But when you understand what it is and how powerful it is, and it's not like some joke, bro. Like, it's not like some shit, some fucking ha yee ha shit. Like, that is your fucking like direction. Your soul is your direction in terms of your consciousness, in terms of who and what you are made of, comes from your fucking soul. And that soul attaches itself to other souls that came before you and will come after you. So you have to understand what it means. You have to understand what it takes. When you see super religious people, their kids are always fucked up, right? Because their kids' souls are attached to them in a way. They're tethered to the things that you are akin to. And adjacent to that will only be the things that you either find evil or you find better. Understand soul, because it's the greatest thing that you have. It's the most powerful part of you. Once you get what it means, and I'm not saying that, you know, the niggas don't know whatever it is that they have at the moment, but when I ask and you don't know, you know, when you tell me you don't know, that's a difference. Because then I know I have to, because it's so important. It's so important to me, and it should be important to everyone. But I have to do it because I have to do my part in a sense. Like, no one told me to do this though. That's the thing. No one told me to go in and care about other niggas' souls. I do because I actually legitimately care. But whereas with religion, they usually tell you to go do it. I tell you to go be a missionary. They tell you these things. Why? Because they want to push this propaganda. They don't care about the soul within you. As for someone who does, you'll notice the difference. I'm not holding your hand with it. I give you a simple thing that I believe in and ask you to please hear it out so you can then think it out. Think about how you feel related to what your feelings are. Ask you certain things like, do you pray? Why do I ask that question? Because it tells you a certain amount of time to pray. Do you really give your soul to that thing? Because if you did, then you will be doing that. If you don't, then you don't get your soul. You don't have it. You don't have control over it. But you need to, because it's the most pivotal important thing to you. The soul has the most potential to grow. Your body, you can get that done in a few months. Your mind, that's going to take a couple of years, but you have a clear slate on when you're going to get it done. The soul is undeniably the most hard to identify when you're growing with your soul, because it is the thing that people take the least amount of care of. It's what they know the least about themselves. You know what type of body type you have. You know what type of person, how you think out. You ask somebody, do you know your soul? They're going to be like, what the fuck are you talking about? And that right there, this day will always bother me. But I'm going to shut the fuck up. I'm going to let y'all talk.
No, I think what you're saying is really important to think about, and I think, like as you said, like the most you can do is educate people, and I think your question has also made me think about. It's made me think about myself. So thank you for that. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Any more comments on that?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Instead of worrying about your soul, go get some bitches, nigga. Why you always he's worried about his soul? Like talking about he care about the soul of his niggas and shit. Weird ass nigga. Go get some bitches, bro.
No. Cav.
You. I think
Yeah.
before you something that like the most important thing you could do, like Banjo said, is really just protect your soul, you know, protect your heart and your mind. But I think once you protect your soul, protecting your heart and your mind comes a lot easier.
Well, it's just such an in-depth situation because, truthfully, you ask somebody about their soul, and like I said, they don't know.
They don't know. They blank out. Like it's like, and the thing is like, I'm sorry, you could go.
Oh no. Well, I just think like when I like the reason, like I said, the reason why it makes me feel so bad when I hear that, especially about somebody that I care about. I don't be shitting on religion to be a dickhead. I shit on religion because it's like
I think it blocks you.
It's not you. It's not, my thing is it's not you and it's not me.
Yeah.
I can't change it. I can only live with it. But I do talk about it in the way that I talk about it because when you talk to these people that follow it, they don't know. And then what you tell me, if you ask somebody this, bro, if you see somebody in a pyramid scheme and they speak on it in these crazy ass highways, but you're not a part of that scheme and you see it from the outside in, you're like, damn. But with religion, they don't see it that way. And it's bothering me. It's like when you talk to these people that are in the pyramid scheme, Joe, you talk to Natalie.
They're delusional.
Wait. It's bullshit. They don't see it because they have created something in their mind and tells them that they're not.
Yes, it's manipulation. It is manipulation that is scary because this is common.
It scares me when I hear my niggas all right. It scares me when I hear my niggas when I ask them these questions and we have this conversation and then they tell me they don't know, they don't have a clue, and that's okay not to know. But I'm saying, but then when we revisit that, because y'all have known, I revisit similar conversation, and don't have to be the same day. It have to be the same day. I don't have to be the same week. I come back months later, and the answer is still I don't know. Like why? Why don't you take the time to actually get why you do the things that you do? Why do you believe the things you do believe? You have to because it's like, say if there's a mental issue that you have, your depression, your anxiety, anything, you get the help. Why is it that with the soul it's so goofy to tell somebody to go and understand their fucking soul? Like that bothers me. But I get passionate about the situation because I've had to come to terms with a lot of shit regarding it. And it's not easy to be the person who has come to these terms when others haven't. Not to be like this nigga, to be like, I'm the nigga. I know shit. I know shit because I care about shit. And when I care about people, other people caring about shit, and they tell me that they do, or they tell me, and I ask you the questions. I don't mean to come as some fucking lighthouse. I'm not a fucking savior of anybody. I don't give a shit, honestly, if you end up at the end of the day getting it or finding your own way, like I don't care about how the outcome is. I don't care if you steal after it, find that religion is your thing. I don't care if you don't find that as your thing. I do care that you do find what it means, though. That is my point. If somebody can come to me, the reason I don't ask the questions, as in I'm hoping to you for you to agree with me. I ask the questions because I hope you have a rebuttal. I hope you have a stance on it, not just I don't know, and then there's zero. Zero. There's no anything, because then I have to ask why. Why do you not know? Why do you care to call yourself this thing when you really aren't? Because you don't actually get it. But once again, press the time, so I'm shut the fuck up. Y'all talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very
man.
very information.
I did.
So
Fuck.
I mean,
I guess we could
wouldn't
say-
call myself anything.
religion is the
I don't
MLM.
really know, Yeah. I do this, and they're like, "Oh, you're this." I'm like, "No, I'm not." But thanks for
I'll
telling
be
I
me.
cool.
hate that shit.
So
I hate that shit. You don't believe in God? Oh, you must be agnostic or atheist. Maybe I just don't have a fucking label. I'm just me.
I'm
You
like,
know?
I'm
Alright.
just Eli. That's me.
Hey yo. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you believe in God to an extent, there is something to classify yourself under. If you don't believe in God, there's still something to classify yourself under. Fuck classifications.
But I don't want to be classified as like I don't want to be like
Nobody
an
wants to be
atheist
classified
or
as
an
a-
I'm
agnostic.
free spirited.
Yeah, I just want to.
Yeah, but yeah, then you're bullshitting yourself. Like I can
don't
sit up
call
here and be like,
myself
all right.
that.
I'm not saying that you are. I'm literally saying that like you can sit up here and be like, I'm not this, I'm not that, but then you look at the fucking description, it's like, nigga, that is quite literally
I
what you
mean,
are.
yeah.
I
I'm not gonna be. I'm not gonna
Like
go
for
around.
example, when niggas be like, I'm not a rapper, but then they rap. Nigga, you're a rapper. Like just because you like one thing more than the other doesn't mean you're not a rapper. You're still a fucking rapper.
I can't be a rapper. I'm not on some candy.
Anyways,
Anyway.
if like me, for example, I love producing more than I like rapping. And if somebody came to me and was like, yeah, this nigga a rapper, and then don't mention I'm a producer, I'm not about to be like, bro, the fuck did you just say about me? I'm a producer. Like, nigga, the fuck are you talking about? Like, yeah, you're a fucking rapper. Just because you don't classify yourself as whatever the fuck you want to classify yourself as. People are going to classify you based off what they know about you. That's it.
Yeah.
Then
So whatever
right later,
description they have of
please.
you.
But at the end of the day, don't feel bad about that. Like it's life, bro. Like they just it's like this, bro. If you walk behind somebody, you see long, flowy, straight, blonde hair and a goddamn huntress braid, you're gonna be like, oh, that's probably a girl. Then turns around and says, nigga, you just assume based off what you fucking know. Like, you know what I mean?
That's a barbarian, bro. What you mean?
No, at the end of the day,
Viking.
you believed it was because of what you normally see. That's okay. It's just that once you find out what it is, correct
That's
yourself.
type of ass too, like it's mad annoying.
Oh, shut up.
Hey yo, peep. Niggas looking around, bro.
Oh my god, bro.
I mean, shut up.
Yes.
All right. Are we doing Don Horrendous?
Yeah, Tim, you still alive over there?
yep.
I think he died.
Tim, rest in peace, Tim. I'm gonna let you choose, and I'm gonna let you choose. Choose one.
Choose what?
Oh, so you don't know what Down Horrendous is? Is basically when I read
No.
stuff.
Oh boy. Started him.
Read stuff, blah blah. If you don't know, just go back to like literally 16 episodes.
With tier list.
Right?
Tier list. Rest in peace.
That's it.
They gotta put that in the graveyard.
It's been like a good 5 episodes.
No, we did. No, we haven't done a tier list in a while. Actually.
Yeah, hey yo,
Maybe we should do it one soon.
give it till like 25. He'll be like, hey yo, let's rank.
I'm not doing that.
No, I'd be down to do a tier list.
No,
Yeah,
another
I
one.
do.
more.
Come on, yeah,
No
let's
more.
do
Hey, y'all
it.
remember that one time where he coded a fucking tier list as something else?
That was like,
Yo, Banjo. I think it was. I remember that day too because I was texting. I was like, what the? Did he not just say the same thing? He literally described
guys,
it.
I get it. We get tier list. I do tier list. It was 5 episodes ago.
No. But you tried to
you
market
good,
it
bro?
in a way that wasn't a tier list, but it was 100% a tier list.
Because then I
Hilarious.
was like, Eli, is this your creative way of saying that?
Guys, I do tier list. Not anymore.
In case you didn't know,
Just
he
in
does
case-
Steelers.
Just
Make
in
it
case
tough,
you
make it
didn't.
tough.
Oh, we fucking knew.
No more
Oh, we
tables till
fucking-
episode 100. Anyways, what I'm doing? All right. So Tim, so
Yo.
here's your options, in very vague. I'm not really joking. Look, it's either. Let me say this without trying to get canceled. Remember what Jake was on ranting about for a good while?
Yeah.
Let's just say it's the opposite of what Jake rants for a while, and something that's
What?
very uncommon.
Ranting. What was I ranting about?
A
I rant about a
certain
lot.
type of
Oh, bro, you
Uh,
always.
Pride.
that or 2021 about jokes.
He's gonna pick the one that I was ranting about.
I said the
know.
opposite of what you usually rant about.
Well, I know how he thinks.
All right, what is it?
I'm letting Tim choose.
All right.
So Timothy, choose whichever one you want to do first. A really uncommon thing about a certain type of thing that Jake ran about,
Mm-hmm.
or
So you definitely want to do that one, don't you?
Tim definitely is gonna pick that
Eli,
one. I'm
I
telling
don't
you
know
now.
if it's you,
Or-
but I'm not.
Oh, we
I'm
had
not,
to
I'm
think
not
of the
getting
options. Shit.
this starts-
Tim, screw your options. Pick it. Go ahead.
What's
So
the
many
second one?
options.
All right, look, Tim, one or two. There you go, one or two.
What's the second option?
He knows what they both are.
Jokes. I mean, not like
Bro,
a certain type of joke. Let's say that.
Pick the one that resembles Jake, bro. Like that's
Oh
all.
my
That's the one we
God.
all
I'm
want.
not gonna do that one. Oh my god.
Because Amin loves to hear dumb
We
stuff.
could do the second one,
All
bro.
right,
I love
Yeah,
second
thank
one
you,
first.
Tim.
I love
Thanks
hearing
you.
them. My
Second
enemies
one
never
first. We're doing. All right.
We don't gotta do the first one at all.
We're doing first one too.
Why? There's no reason to pick it.
Yeah.
Remember I said which one we're doing first. I let Tim decide.
No, you didn't.
I'm introducing.
You
We
did.
had
He
Yeah.
didn't.
Oh
He didn't.
my!
He didn't.
All
Please.
right, we're running back the
Proceed.
tape. We're running back
We
the
all-
tape. When it comes out, we're
We're
running
only,
back the tape.
we're only doing one. We're only doing one.
Just do one. Do
Nah,
one.
All right, we're
Yeah,
doing the
bro.
Tim.
No.
One Tim Hayes
Doing
done.
it too, bro. Fuck
We're
that.
only doing one.
Two.
We're doing the one picked. Tim picked. That's it. Nope.
No,
there
we're
we go.
doing the one.
bro.
No.
Nah, what are y'all hating
You know
for,
what?
dude?
Because
We did.
y'all wanna. Oh my god.
Okay. You know what? Do the one. Tim picked.
Listen, the one that Tim picked is the one that we're doing, and then we're getting off.
Thank you.
What are you? Bro, nah, bro. Fuck
Shut
that.
the fuck up. Continue. Eli, read the shit.
Nah, bro. Fuck that. This sounds like a mob. We go into this store, and if y'all can't agree on one thing, we all go
Simmer
home.
down. Simmer the fuck down. Eli, read the shit, bro.
Bro. Yo, is he okay?
Hey, bro. Simmer the fuck down. Eli, read the shit.
Yo, are you good?
He just sunned you, bro. That's crazy.
It's crazy, bro. But yo, Benji, you good, bro? Like, what's up, bro? You sound hella, you sound hella tight, bro.
Eli, we're waiting.
How it work?
Speaking to a fucking wall.
So, Benji, how it work, bro?
Big homie dog. Could you just speak on the subject so we can get through this shit? He's muted now. All
I
right.
think he's
Well.
in a coma.
Yes.
Since we are waiting for our fucking grand
I'm right
host,
here.
Bro,
come
are
back
you
and
okay, bro? Like, what are you so
host.
angry for?
I mean, no
I
one
mean,
is.
I'm
not
here.
right now.
I'm
I
here.
mean,
All right, read it.
All right, we're doing the Tim one. All right, let me read the Tim one about jokes. Am I upset? Am I wrong for being upset at a joke?
yes.
Probably.
All right. So my boyfriend has a terrible sense of humor, and this leads to a lot of sexist and dark jokes. I can deal with the dark jokes fine. I can deal with the dark jokes fine, but the sexist jokes get to me. Today he made 3 jokes. One of them being girls love to get excited over hair products, and the other
What?
one being girls that get so emotional, and that makes me mad, and I want to break up with him.
What?
What?
Wrong.
That's a light as fuck.
kind of prove this point. I mean,
Bro, she bro, she peeped. If she peeped a nigga like me, she would cry. Like she would just fold under
wait,
pressure.
so she got upset because he said the girls like hair products.
Yeah.
That's like me getting upset. That's like me getting upset that a girl said, "Oh yeah, you like playing games." Yeah, I do.
Prove this motherfucking point, bro. Yeah, that's literally like getting mad. Oh my god, all those guys, all they do is watch anime. Okay, bitch.
How dare you?
She said it.
Continue,
Bro.
sir.
Why does he always have to make these jokes?
Because he
It's
wants
funny.
And he's
His body, his choice.
funny.
to. Body is choice. Holy fuck.
This can't be real.
Buddy, wiggle down.
Yo,
And I can't just. And he doesn't want to apologize for the jokes he's made because blah blah. Here's my feelings.
Wait. All right.
Continue, Eli. Continue.
So in the end, I snapped at a certain point and will either ignore him or start another argument about it. Why can't she stop making these jokes? Because it really is insensitive to women and hurts my feelings.
Oh my God, she's a
Oh my
feminist.
god. Stop it, Jake. Jake's gonna go on his rant. He's gonna go on his rant.
Aw. Aw.
Oh, she passed away.
Would you like to continue, Jake?
Oh, my feelings are hurt.
Women are emotional. Take it back.
All right. I have two outlooks of this. There's one outlook, which is that if you are legitimately around somebody that makes you feel uncomfortable, regardless of how they make you feel uncomfortable, you don't have to be around them anymore, and you don't have to be a part of their situation. Leave that person. So absolutely, she is 100% in the right to go and get away from the person she feels is not making
Causing her stress.
However, just a skin chick, like I'm not saying that the jokes have to exist because those weren't even funny. Oh my god, girls like hair products. Nigga, shut the fuck up. What are we laughing at? Like, y'all, like, you like hair products too, nigga. Damn.
Like this or do slap. I ain't gonna lie.
Weird ass nigga talking about some
It does.
girls like hair products. No fucking shit. They like hair products. They grow a lot of hair. Dumbass nigga. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And then what was the other one? The fucking they get
emotional.
Oh my god, bro, what are you fucking? You fucking got hair in your chest? You got that Rambo shit?
No, I don't get emotional. I have no feelings. I'm just there.
Like, shut the fuck up, bitch. God damn. Like, oh my god, bro.
Bro, we do not move. We are still. We are moving.
Like, all right, damn. Okay, Rambo, chill out. You can simmer down a little bit, bitch. Put the M4 down, bro. All right, chill out. Yeah, bro. Like, all right, so what? Girls get emotional. Niggas do too. We all get emotional. We're human. We have emotions. We got feelings. Bro.
It's a
So,
joke.
it's jokes. But the joke wasn't funny, is what I'm
It's a
saying.
dumbass joke. It's a dumb. Yeah. It's
The
not
joke
funny.
isn't funny because it doesn't make any sense. It's like it's not funny. It'd be different to actually make something funny. Like to say some shit like
We live in a society.
I don't know, but like whatever it is, bro. If I'm making dark jokes, I'm gonna make a dark joke that actually firstly is dark because that wasn't dark. He said she likes hair products. Okay, nigga. Like what? All right,
I have dark humor. Women.
And niggas brush out brain cells trying to get waves. Like, what are we talking about, bro? Like, that's some dumbass shit to say. But like, if he says some dumb, if he says some other shit, like, bro, y'all really sit up here bleeding once a month? That's crazy. I can't trust niggas. I can't trust niggas that bleed once a month. And that's just hilarious. But like, he ain't saying that shit, bro. He really said some light ass shit, bro. She'll have hell around me. It will be hell.
Yo, imagine getting pregnant.
Bro, you really carrying around another nigga's bitch. That's crazy, bro.
Remember what you said? Didn't you say you really had dick in your mouth or something like that? You really took dick.
Yeah, Eli,
So stupid.
we gotta end it, bro. We gotta.
No, bro, no. I'm just making. I didn't say that shit. Anyways, I'm just making a point. My point. No. Hey, look. My point stands as is. My point stands as. All right, look. But,
I can't really deny that.
no, like I said, original point. you can't absolutely escape anybody. If somebody just looks at you wrong, like I didn't like a meme when I first saw him because I didn't like the way this thing like. It was something dumb. I was like, bro, I'm not gonna
his
talk
aura is something.
Get the
Whatever reason,
There's
I
more.
like, what?
Wait, there's more.
Hey,
no,
top-
bro.
wait,
I don't want to hear.
the top
I don't want to
comment.
hear it.
If your boyfriend isn't making jokes, he's making fun of you and belittling you.
what?
Yeah.
There's a girl wrote that.
Shut
Yeah,
up, Jake. No, I'm a girl. I can say that. Stop. A
Hey,
girl
bro.
probably
Hey,
wrote
you know
that.
those fake ass imposter. Disguises where like the fucking glasses and the mustache.
Yes.
I think I wrote it.
Gadget.
I am a boy. Nigga.
I do boy things like Pete standing up.
This is so dumb.
Yeah.
This is so dumb.
Oh no! Yeah, bro. The Lakers really knocked it out the park with that touchdown. Like,
That's the part with that touchdown.
Hey, remember when we played that
that's the
game?
bar. Wait, look, that's a bar, bro. The Lakers knocked it out the park with that touchdown. Is a bar, bro. But anyways,
Yeah. Write that down. Write that down.
And the Lakers a basketball team.
yeah,
That's the
knocked it out the park
point.
like a home run. But then I said it's a touchdown, bro. That's a girl. Saver. That's a girl beat. Yeah, but nah, bro. That's dead ass like some crazy ass shit, bro. By the way, the name of this video should be the Lakers knocked.
The Lakers said what?
Man, what about the Lakers? Yeah, it'll be like in the he'll put in like bubbles or whatever the fuck. It'll be like Ben's opinions on Kobe and all the love you have for him. Doesn't hear one thing about Kobe.
By the way, I just realized something. Like, I was supposed to be somewhere. I completely got carried away, and I wasn't even keeping my phone all this time. So, like, oh boy,
We're ending.
we have a conversation to have. But anyways, yeah, I think that dumbass situation is just all the way
But she
fucked
was
up.
getting belittled. Belittled.
Belittle.
Whatever. Literally,
Belittled?
but literally, whatever. Like, all right, leave him then, nigga. We don't make this show dramatic. Like, why are you making this so dramatic? He really hurt my feelings. Then leave him. Just go. What the fuck are you talking about?
He really
Man, fuck
hates.
your feelings.
And then later on, when you
Hates
find
women.
somebody who really fucks with you on a level unbelievable, and you're like, damn, I really should just, yeah. Or if you don't, maybe you don't. Maybe you find somebody that just fucking sits there with his mouth shut. Because that's what women want. They want niggas to. Never mind. I'm not talking. I'm not
You can't
talking.
make that joke. That's offensive.
I'm not talking, bro.
You know, it should be named Retry Hates Women.
I mean, we did.
I know.
We're still striving. Get it right.
I'm only here for the demographics, so you guys don't get sued.
Demographics.
I'm here. I'm here
You
for
think we give a
the
fuck about the
quota.
law?
I'm
You think we give a fuck about the damn law, bro?
I'm pretty sure
I'm here to
9%
fit a
are
quota.
anyway, so we're okay.
Exactly. So I'm here because I need to fit the quota.
10%.
Like 12.
What quota?
The 1%.
Girl, this is a podcast.
12.
You know, on that note,
We out.
I have nothing.
Yo, shut up.
And for that reason, I'm out.